I'm back with another Front Row Talk podcast, the podcast with expensive opinions. It's episode 175. Make sure you check the description down below for my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Uh, and check the last episode 174. Um, by the time you guys see this, it'll be up. Um, so I talked about NBA with two of my guys. I brought them up here. They kind of had a debate, a back and forth. That video is not well. It should be up by the time you see this. It's uploading at the moment. Super funny and fun video. I think it was definitely over an hour. So make sure you enjoy that. It's been a while since I brought people back into the podcast, so just going back to how I used to do it. But as you can see, by the title of the video, I'm gonna be talking about the Super Bowl, the two teams that are up, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So the Super Bowl will be taking place in San Francisco Bay Area. I think next year it'll be in LA, but this year we have San Francisco. It'll be Seattle Seahawks against the Patriots. I feel like it's gonna be a good Super Bowl. A lot of people were expecting the Rams. I had the Rams beating the Seahawks, but I made it clear 2 episodes ago that if the Rams don't win, I would not be surprised. And part of me wanted to go for the Seahawks for the reason I stated back in that video. Um, yeah, I mean it's gonna be super tough. Sam Darnold against Drake May. Uh, you got a guy who's been in every single scenario. He's been up and down. He's had good years, bad years as backup quarterback, um, years where a lot of people counted him out, and now he's in a Super Bowl where many other quarterbacks, and not only quarterbacks but players wish they could be. Super hard spot to get in. So when it comes to Darnold, just him making it to the Super Bowl should be applauded. Of course, when you're in there, you're just thinking about winning, so you're just not gonna be comfortable with just saying that you've made it there and not actually getting the ring that you played the whole season for, and each and every other team did. And then you have a guy on the other end in Drake May where he's having arguably a MVP year. I don't know if people already kind of decided who the MVP is between him and Stafford, but I think it's his like second year if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, this is pretty early on in his career, and he's having such success. Um, it's just it could definitely set up a good resume for him once he retires, and he has so much more to go, so much more games to play in his career, and the fact that it's just the second year and he's made it here just tells you everything. Definitely, whoever's a Patriots fan didn't have to wait so long, to feel or get that feeling of what it is for your team to go back to the Super Bowl, because of course once they had Tom Brady, so Patriots fans were used to it. Tom Brady then left. They 10 years without going to the Super Bowl for the Patriots, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I'm probably like 10, 9 years around there, and then you're back at it with a sophomore quarterback who could get the job done. Now to get into my pick, who I want to win, I think I made up my mind. I want the Seattle Seahawks to win. That defense is super tough. I made it clear that I like to see teams who play really good defense. Teams who um, don't leave it just all up to the offense to make it happen. And to be honest, there's not much teams like that in the NFL. There's teams that are more dominant on one end than the other, but the Seahawks have a really good offense, and their defense is just as good or even better than their offense. So I think I got them winning. Also, McDonald, the head coach, was once with the Ravens, and it's a team who you could tell that them guys played together to make it happen. And I could say the same thing about the Patriots, but I don't know. I'm just leaning more so towards the Seahawks to win, especially Darnold, him getting a ring after all he's been through, from going from the Jets to the Vikings, now with the Seahawks, and I think he's been in another team or two. So just him getting up over that hump, and being able to win a ring would be nice. I mean, I could say the same thing with the Patriots. Um, a guy in his second year to win is insane. You don't really see that, and I think Tom Brady actually won in his second year as well. So I'm not saying that he's following Brady's footsteps, but it's kind of ironic or crazy that is in the same team and he's winning same year that Brady did. But not no shade to the Patriots. It's not like I don't like them. You got a guy like Diggs on that team who's been trying to get to where he is for a long time since he's been with Josh Allen, um, and he's actually made it. So people on both sides who definitely deserve that, but I think I got Seattle winning. I think it'll be a really good game. I just think that Seattle defense is gonna dominate and make sure that they get the ball and get the stops that they need to get to be able to come home with the win. With that being said, that doesn't mean that I'm a fan of the Seahawks. I'm nowhere near a fan of them. But just when you see when they did to the 49ers and then the 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 way they played against the Rams, even though it wasn't such a they didn't win by so much, but they got the stops that they needed to get, and they're where they're at. And yeah, I mean that's really it. This will be in February 8th. So after February 8th, we would not be seeing no football for a long, long time. 7 months, 8 months, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, so whoever's an NFL fan, this is the time where, you're like, you're counting on the months just for it to come back. But of course, the players deserve the rest. Teams need to get better. Need to draft, of course. But yeah, I'm also excited about the halftime. Halftime is something that Super Bowl halftime is something that um, it's probably one of the most watched events yearly ever, like in the world. So for it to be Bad Bunny, an artist who I listen to, who I know a lot of people listen to, super duper excited. It's kind of gotten some like backlash or some type of negative feedback. But nowadays, anything, no matter how positive it is, you could get some bad feedback. But of course, I do understand the frustration for the people who probably don't understand the music. But it's an artist who's globally probably the biggest artist in the world. If not the biggest, he's top three biggest artists in the world. And it just makes sense for the NFL to take that step and you know be make it a bit more diverse and bring in that Spanish Hispanic audience into the halftime show, and then that'll just make it way 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 more seen. I think each and every year it'll break that record of the most seen halftime show there is. I think last year Kendrick Lamar had that record. I think this year will definitely be way more than last year, just because Bad Bunny's a bigger artist, of course, and he has really good music. So definitely gonna be excited about watching the halftime show. I've told people that I think that he's gonna perform a lot of songs, but because he has such good songs, a lot of really really good songs, it's gonna always be another song he could have done or another two songs he could have done, just because he has 15 minutes to try to make it as entertaining as possible, go from one song to another, and just see however the stage is set up to see how he'll perform or the type of energy he brings out. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, there's people who just watch the Super Bowl just for that halftime show. So definitely, NFL did it. Did a big one by bringing Bad Bunny into it. Um, and yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Uh, that's really it. I think Sam Darnold comes with a ring. I think JSN has a ring. I think all them guys in Seattle. I think Mike McDonald makes a huge statement, being with that team for less than 4 years already getting a Super Bowl. Of course, I can be wrong. I'm just stating my opinion. And that's really it. God willing, I'll be here next week. This week, a bit of a different week because for that week I didn't upload, getting two podcasts this week. So yeah, enjoy both podcasts, and God willing, I'll be back next week. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, and you share.